Hey guys, welcome back to Bits of Krish. A new adventure unfolds as Indiana learns about the Blessed Pearl, hidden deep within the untamed jungles of Siam. Determined to uncover its secrets, he gathered the bare essentials to launch an expedition into the misty rainforests of Sukhothai. Now, the time has come. His journey into the heart of the unknown begins, leading him ever closer to the mysteries of the Great Circle. According to legend, the temple is fiercely guarded by a towering eek. As Indiana and his team arrived at the temple gates, they are met with an imposing stone wall. No visible levers, no obvious way to open it from the outside. But Indiana, ever the quick thinker, suspects that a hidden passage lies beneath the surface. His only way forward, a dive into the depths below. This is it, the perfect moment for the breathing device to prove its worth. Submerged beneath the ancient structure, Indiana discovers a ruined wooden mechanism within the submerged chamber. Gears, both large and small, are scattered across the floor, their arrangement long lost to time. The door will only open if the gears are aligned in perfect unison, allowing the entire mechanism to move as one. Two massive locks must be disengaged this way. Indiana quickly recognized the puzzle. It's a Khmer cogwheel mechanism powered by water. Thankfully, he has some knowledge of how these ancient contraptions work. He carefully arranges the gears, trying different combinations, ensuring both the large and small cogs fit into their rightful places. After numerous attempts and some frantic searching for missing pieces, he finally gets it right. With a pull of the lever, the gears begin to turn, grinding and clanking as the first lock disengages. The second puzzle takes a bit more effort, but now Indiana has cracked the system. At last, the door groans and creaks before slowly cracking open. Before them stands the ancient temple, a colossal structure, its presence both awe-inspiring and foreboding. It looms over the water, surrounded on all sides by a seemingly endless abyss. But something stirs beneath the surface. Indiana catches a glimpse of movement, something large, something alive. It isn't just a small fish or a passing ripple. No, this creature is something else entirely, something deadly. Just like the last puzzle, there is no visible entrance above. If Indiana wants to enter the temple, he must navigate the submerged tunnels below. But there's a problem. A massive beast lurks beneath the water, watching and waiting. Whoever has crossed its paths before likely never lived to tell the tale. With his life hanging by a thread, Indy dove back into the water. Panic gripped him as he realized the looming figure in the depths. It was a giant snake. The mythical eek was, after all, a monstrous anaconda. Indiana choked on fear, his breath catching in his throat. He frantically searched for cover, pressing himself against the ruined pillars. There was no way out, only a way in. Terrified, he cautiously swam across, keeping to the shadows, hiding behind the remnant of ancient ruins and thick underwater flora, praying that the eek wouldn't notice him. Even with the support of his breathing device, Indiana found himself gasping, his breath slipping away far too quickly. Just as he was about to enter the tunnel leading to the temple's entrance, disaster struck. The eek saw him. The chase was on. Indiana kicked off in a desperate frenzy, swimming as fast as his body allowed. He reached for the pillar blocking the entrance, yanking it aside with all his strength. With one final push, he barely squeezed through, but the eek had already caught his scent. It was right on his tail. The monstrous serpent lunged, its jaws wide open, ready to consume him whole. At the very last second, Indiana slipped through by sheer luck, by the narrowest of margins. But the danger was far from over. There was no clear path into the depths of the temple, only a seemingly endless descent. Indiana was hanging by a thread, his hands searching for anything solid to grip. The temple walls were slick and treacherous, offering almost no support. Yet he pushed forward. After what felt like an eternity, he reached a tower that bore an uncanny resemblance to the hidden cave beneath Khufu's pyramid. But crossing this new chamber would be no easy feat. Beneath him was nothing but a deadly free fall. His survival instinct roared to life. Steadying himself, he swung across the passage using his grapple, barely making it to the other side. Among the dense flora and overgrown weeds, he spotted something peculiar: mushrooms. An idea sparked. If he could wedge poles into the thick mushroom mushrooms around him, he might just create a stable enough support to swing. It was risky, but it was his only shot. Carefully, he executed his plan, inching his way up the walls using the makeshift footholds. Finally, he reached a new location, only to be met with a crushing realization. There was no way out. What now? Below him, a colossal eek lurked, waiting. Above him, impenetrable stone walls loomed. There was only one choice left. Indiana had to fight. Summoning every ounce of courage, he turned to face the beast head-on. It was a one-on-one battle for survival. The eek was relentless, its gaping maw large enough to swallow a man whole. Indy's hand trembled, but he fired relentlessly. Bullets barely scratched its thick armored scales. Thinking fast, he hurled whatever he could find, debris, broken pillars, anything that could slow the monster down. Then he noticed something. The sharp holes scattered around him. With a desperate burst of energy, he threw them at the serpent's face. The eek hissed in fury, but the snake was cunning, attacking from every angle, coiling and striking in an attempt to ensnare him. Indiana, ever the quick thinker, dodged every deadly lunge, retaliating with well-aimed strikes. Blow after blow, the battle dragged on. Both combatants were battered, worn down. Indiana was bleeding, his body aching from the relentless struggle. But the eek was faltering too, its body bruised, its movement sluggish. Then at last, the beast gave in. With a final defeated roar, the giant snake slithered away, retreating to its lair. As it did, its enormous weight shattered a section of the wall, revealing an escape route. Indy exhaled in relief. He had survived. Wasting no time, he slipped through the newly created passage, leaving the temple behind. For now, he was safe, but the adventure was far from over. Before him stood the towering walls once again, but this time, Indiana, with renewed hope after defeating Eek, refused to fall short. Determined, he barely climbed the ancient stone, each step fueling his resolve. Along the way, he spotted Nephilim scriptures etched into the walls, proof that he was close. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Indiana reached the top of the tower. It was time to pull Gina up so they could unlock the final piece of the puzzle. Together, they moved the levers and voila, the final door groaned open, revealing what lay beyond. Inside, a devious puzzle awaited, one that tested Indiana's intellect and patience to the limit. It resembled a crossboard, yet the setup was entirely different. There were empty slots where game pieces could be placed, and upon doing so, the fixed statuettes shifted in a particular direction. The objective? Align them all perfectly to activate the towering statue on the wall. Trial after trial, error after error, Indiana's mind raced like a storm. Then, like a lightning bolt striking, it hit him. His hands moved furiously, positioning the pieces with precision. To him, it was no different than a Rubik's Cube, a mere puzzle waiting to be conquered. With one final move, hurrah, he did it. The giant statue groaned as it shifted. Dust cascaded from the ceiling. And then another map. Mountains, rocks. What did they mean? The answer was just within reach. But time was not on their side. The temple walls trembled violently. It was about to collapse. Indiana wasted no time, snapping a quick photo of the map before making a break for it. But fate was cruel. Lucas, it was him, the one giant they had prayed never to face again. And there he stood, blocking their path, boiling with rage. They ran, but the temple floor crumbled beneath them, the very ground betraying their escape, a nightmare unfolding before their eyes. What now? Could they defeat the giant again? Stay tuned for the final episode. If you have made it this far, don't forget to like the video to support this channel and subscribe if you are new. Hit that bell icon so you won't miss the next thrilling episode. Until next time, ciao ciao.